Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Jamie, and today I wanted to talk to you about a new product that was just released from Tarte, and it is this 4-palette collection set that they released for the holidays called the Iconic Palette Library. And this is similar to what they did last year. They just did a 3-palette collection set. So extremely similar. Wanted to show you guys what was in the palettes, what I think about them, a little quick review on the formula. I actually have it on my eyes today. I did film this look and I'll insert that in a later video, but right now I just wanted to focus on the value of this set, what you're getting, and what I think of it. So if you enjoy videos like this, makeup reviews, makeup favorites, a little try on, all of that, please feel free to subscribe to my channel below. I would love that. I would love your support and I really appreciate it. But let's just jump into this. So this is retailing for $49 and I believe it's a $276 value advertised by Tarte on their website. Right now it's just available at Tarte Cosmetics, but I know it's coming soon to Ulta, and I see the display in stores, and I know that they had it in their holiday catalog that they passed out a couple weeks ago. So it's coming, and this one's a little bit different, like I said, than last year's, because last year's was all just eyeshadow palettes, and then this year's they actually have a face palette in the bunch as well. And so I figured we would go through these and I'd let you know, what I thought and what the formulas were like, how they compare to what you got last year, and if this was really worth it. And so let's jump in. I love Tarte shadows. I've been a long-standing Tarte fan for a long time, and I love neutrals. So I just wanted to let you know that ahead of time. So my opinion might, kind of sway towards loving neutrals. And that's definitely going to be something that's a decision maker with this palette, or with this group of palettes. So collection of different palettes. Let me go through them really quick with you. I'm going to do swatches, and then I'm going to go do some comparisons at the end. So first, let's go into the face palette. So this is a 3-pan face palette. You can see it there. That includes their iconic Park Avenue Princess bronzer. This is the matte version of that. I have the glowy version. It's really a different color, but the matte version is right here. I don't have the matte version, so I can't really speak to the color, but I'll show you what it looks like swatched. Then it has this blush in it, which is like a new blush. It's not released, and they say the same with the highlight. So you can see it's really compact in here. That's the problem I really have with this, is just the sizing. Like, come on, Tarte, give us some bigger sizes. I don't understand. It's hard for me to get my brush in here, and that's like a pet peeve of mine. It's like, looks pretty, but I mean, I feel like possibly the size of the eyeshadows might be nearly the size of the blush thing. I don't know. I mean, I like this addition. This is very useful. I used it on my face today. It looks beautiful, I believe, personal opinion, but is it, as usable? I don't know. So you just have to pick that for yourself. Yeah, that's your own opinion. I'm giving you mine today. So if you have an opinion, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Let me know. That would be awesome. But so then it's got 3 different eyeshadow palettes. So these are 6-pan palettes. Last year they had the 9-pan palettes. This was last year's, and which also came with a mirror. This one, they still have the mirrors, and it's a 6-pan palette in each of the 3 little eyeshadow palettes. These are really nice. I like the size of these compared to last year's. We're a little bit more bulky. These are thin and sleek. The packaging is really nice. It's still plastic, but it's got that mirror. It feels a little bit more high-end. I feel like this will travel well. And I love the fact that you could like grab one of these, grab this, and head out the door. It's the face palette. And then you're set for like the weekend or whatever you're gonna do. So I like that. All the stuff in here is going to be pretty neutral. This is going to be like the most daring that we get right here. So just know that this is like their plums and pink toned palette. So this is their cool tone palette out of the bunch. I think it leans really purple. And cool tone, obviously, but purple is what I'm seeing here, just that one kind of pink shade, but that kind of pulls purple as well. So I'm gonna do swatches in a minute, but I just wanted to step you through overall what you're getting. Then the next palette is this little Tartelette palette. It is says Tartelette on the front. It's similar to the Tartelette palettes in that it's a neutral palette. So these are all neutral shades. There's 5 mattes and 1 shimmer in here or metallic. And these are just really basic neutrals. Now, what I think is interesting is there's like only 1 really dark shade out of these 3 eyeshadow palettes. The darkest shade is gonna be this purple. And then after that, this is the darkest brown, I think, out of these palettes. I mean, it does not get very dark. I'll open the other one and just compare really quickly, but the browns, yep. This is the darkest brown you're gonna get. This other one doesn't even go that dark. So anyway, very, very neutral. Gonna show swatches in a minute. And then this one is the warmer toned one, but still very, very neutral. And you know, last year they did the really warm one. This one is not very warm. It's really nice. I mean, I really love these 2 palettes, the neutral palettes, but it's all about what you're into, you know? So I've got swatches of them. There's a nice mix of mattes and shimmers in each of the little palettes, which is very nice, I think. So you can travel with them if you like a shimmer, you know, shadow on your lid, which I do. Let's see, what else about them? So, you know, they've slick past packaging. It's really nice and around the same price point, but you're kind of getting a face palette in here, but you're losing out on 9 shadows, which what you could have gotten if you got last year's version. So let's go through the swatches now, because I know people are really interested in that. I've got them swatched out on my arms and I'm gonna step you through it. So some of these didn't show up, you know, too strong. That's just, they're very neutral shades and they're Tarte, and the formulas are creamy on the mattes, not very dry. I noticed like last year, over the past year, I feel like Tarte shadows have been really dry. These are not that dry on the mattes, they're creamy. The metallics are kind of hit and miss. There's one metallic I'll tell you that's really chunky. The rest are kind of creamy, which I like. So let's go through this. This is the bronzer. That's at Park Avenue Princess Bronzer. This is the blush in Happy Hour. So you can tell right there, it's a really neutral, warm leaning shade. So it is nice, beautiful. They don't have, I don't own anything else like that from them. But I will tell you what I own that's kind of similar, just for comparison's sake. So anyway, that's that one. And then this is the highlight that they put in there. And this is in the color City Lights. So very pretty there. Now we're gonna jump into the Warm and Bronzy palette. That's a light camera lashes palette. We've got Flirty, which is like this mid-tone creamy brown. It's really pretty matte shade. Then we have Iconic, which is a nice like highlighting shade, very similar to the highlighter. So it's like this champagne, you know, metallic shade, very pretty, swatches nicely, feels good on the eyes as well. This is Sassy, which is like kind of like a bronzy metallic. You know, that's the deepest metallic, definitely in this quad. Then it goes into Encore, which is a nice mid-tone, like peachy beige color. So that's nice. And then we have Fabulous, which is also another matte, and that's more of like a slightly darker brown. You can tell that's the darkest brown in this whole palette, and that's not very dark. So then the last one is called Showstopper, and that's a pretty like mid-tone metallic, kind of like a rose gold, maybe leaning a little bit more peach, and it's somewhere like in between these shades. So it's a really nice shade to have in here. Anyway, there you go, there's the range. One thing I had to say is there's a lot of crease colors in this. You know, you could use any of these really for the crease. You could use the bronzer, this, I mean, together, this is like one cohesive, like you're getting a monotone look using these 2 palettes. So now we'll jump into the more, you know, extra adventurous shades, which still aren't very extra or adventurous, but that's Tarte, you know, they're not very extra or adventurous either. So let's move over here. Here we go. So the first palette here is that purple toned palette that is also known as the Big Ego palette. We'll start out, there's a shade right here that is like a silver pink, like a white pink silver duochrome. I don't know if you can see that, but that is what it is, and it is called Strong. It's a metallic. This one is a matte, and it's kind of like a beigey purple. So it is a great crease color. I know you didn't swatch all too fantastic, but it is there, I promise. And it is like a nice, just warming up the crease or cooling up the crease really color. Then we have Boss Babe, which is pretty much the brightest palette, the brightest color inside all of the palettes. It's this pretty berry matte. It kind of, those colors are always a little scratchy when it comes to Tarte shadows. So just know that. I think it has good pigmentation, but it does swatch scratchy. I've never had any problem with it before. It blends beautiful. All these blend really beautifully. Then we go into Empower, which is also a metallic in here. This is a cool duochrome. It's like a purple, pink, gold shift. It's really pretty. I like that a lot. Great lid shade. Then we have Humble, which is darkest metallic, I think, out of both of these palettes. Very pretty, like a burgundy type of color. It has a lot of crumbleness to it, crumbly, so I was blowing it off. But I mean, it swatches pretty well. It works really well on the lid. I liked it. And that is Humble. Then this one is Positivity, which is actually the darkest color in all of the palettes. That's this one right here. So, I mean, it feels smooth, and these are just, you know, they don't swatch all too fantastic, but I used this today to actually like line my lids, and I thought it worked out really well. I like a deep brown, but you know, I'll deal with a deep purple. That's okay, not a big deal. Then we're moving on to the last palette, which is the Tartelette Palette. This is the one that's like neutral, just neutral, not warm or cool, neutral, supposedly. All right, this one is Graceful, which is a nice ivory matte shade. And then we have Bestie, which is a nice, you know, kind of like just a light brown beigey shade. This one has a little bit more of a purple gray hue to it, very similar. So Bestie and Traveler, very, very similar mid-tone crease shades. Then we have Trailblazer. This one's really pretty. That's what I have on my lids right now. The thing I'd have to say with this though, it has glitter in it. I didn't notice any of the other shimmer colors had glitter or any of the other metallics had glitter, just this one. And I do have a little bit of glitter fallout, and I've had this on my eyes for a couple hours, but I've got a little bit of glitter fallout, so I just figured I'd warn you about that. So you want to use a glitter glue of some sort to wear this, unless you don't mind it. I mean, it's not like throwing off my look here. It's just there. So it's up to you if you like that or not. Anyway, very pretty shadow Trailblazer. Then we have Dreamer, which is deepening up that crease. I would say it is a slightly darker brown, neutral, very similar to this shade, Bestie, but darker. And then we have Go Getter, which is the darkest brown in all the palettes, and that is just a dark neutral brown. Not too much crazy to say about it, but if you put these together, you see a very, very neutral color story. I mean, there's not much that's gonna, you know, excite an adventurous eye look wearer, but I'm not that adventurous, so I'm okay with it. You know, a weird thing about this is Tarte had a bunch of holiday releases that released earlier this year, and then, you know, like a month later, they're releasing these, which I think is weird timing for them. I don't know why they did that. I think it would have been better for them to kind of ride the original wave of the holiday palettes, but that's whatever, you know, it's whatever. So let's do some comparisons. So the original Tartelette obviously is gonna look pretty similar to the mini Tartelette that comes in here, because that's kind of like what it's based off of. I mean, I have the Tartelette in Bloom, but still the shadows are pretty in the same family. They're very neutral. I would even say Tartelette in Bloom leans a little bit warmer. I don't have the original Tartelette, so I can't compare it to that. But I mean, very neutral, very pretty. I like, none of the shades are the exact same in any of the palettes that I found. So I think you're getting something unique. If you like that color story, it's still gonna be unique in here. And then comparing it to like the new Tartelette, this is the big juicy one that I have. I would not say that any of these are really comparable. Like this leans very pink, where that Big Ego palette that we got leans very more purple. So I don't really think it's all too comparable. That's just my opinion. So no duplicate shades. Nope. Nothing's a duplicate. Then, I mean, I have the Man-Eater palette. I got a lot of Tarte palettes. This Man-Eater palette, I guess if I was gonna compare this to any of them, it would be that Lights, Camera, Lashes. This one that's more like warm toned. Still no overlap in shades. And this one like is missing all those dark shades, which I wish they had. There's just so many mid-tone neutral shades in this collection that I feel like they're missing out on some of those deeper, darker colors, which is just what I have to say about it. So you're still getting no overlap, and I think that you're getting, you know, from those three palettes, I feel like you're getting a really good selection of some of the best shades. I think they're beautiful. It's not gonna overlap, but I like the whole concept of it, these neutrals, but that's it for you to decide. Then also last year, Tarte did put out in their little cheek set like this, they did put out one that was a combination of the bronzer highlight and blush one, but this blush is definitely different. It's much more pinky than the other one. So you're not gonna have overlap if you get that new palette either. The Lights, Camera, Lashes palette. Then let's just quickly compare to last year's. So last year, you know, you had the 3 9 shadow palettes. I'll just hold them up so you can see. Here is the Tartelette, the juicy one that was very, very pink, I would say. And it was exciting, but it felt like really pink. And then the Big Ego one this year, I feel like there might be one over, like that pink might be the same, but I feel like we're leaning more purple with this year's and more neutral. So I like that because I like more neutral. So there's no overlap there except maybe that one shade. We've talked about this. This does not, you know what, I guess the only warm bronzy palette is this right here. And I don't see any real overlap, maybe like a shade or two, or not really. This is very orange. This is very neutral. So got that. And then the last one, the Little Bloom right here. I love this palette. This one's so pretty to me. This one would be comparable to the Tartelette one. And these, there's no overlap, but there is a more similarity, I would say, here than any of the other ones. Still no overlap though. So it depends what you like. I think the formula is pretty good in these palettes. You know, some of the shimmers are on point, awesome. The mattes were great. The eye look came together really well. You want to use probably a glitter glue with the metallic shades, but all in all, I liked it. I like what they picked for the regular, you know, face palette. Big problem in the room though, big elephant in the room is, you know, it's not inclusive. Nothing about this is inclusive of other skin tones. I mean, this is like light and that's it. No, not that one, sorry. This is like, you're either light skinned or there's not, you know, there's not a face palette for you. That's not an option. So I don't know what Tarte's thinking. I never know with them. I mean, they've gone through this inclusion thing over and over and over. I don't know how many times somebody's gonna have to beat them over the head. It's like Hourglass, you know, I feel like, you know, but there are Black beauty brands out there that just cater to darker skin tones, you know, so I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I obviously fit their demographic, whatever they're going for here, but you know, I don't know. I only have this one face. And I have a lot of loved ones that are from all different backgrounds, but as far as makeup is concerned, I'm only putting makeup on my face, and I like Tarte products, so I hate that for them. I wish they were more inclusive as a brand, but that's really all I have to say about it. I like this brand. I have a coupon for you guys. I got this in my mailer, so I'm gonna put Natural Beauty in the description box. That's not affiliate or anything. That's just gonna get you 15% off if you order from Tarte.com. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.